my dear learners. Welcome to the world of exploration. Welcome to the world of learning. Let's start exploring. Let's start learning. This is Sukriti Josh. Alright, so we are gonna revise some of the things, right? So this is the classification and forms of English literature. Now, herein, what I would like to talk about over here is that first and foremost, the importance of literature. So when we say literature, right, when we talk about literature, what do we actually mean by literature, by this terminology? We are going to study. We are going to have a glance. We are going to have a glimpse of that, right? So literature plays a very significant role in human life. We all know that literature plays a pivotal role here in our lives. It is considered to be a mirror. So it is considered to be the mirror of the society. Why mirror? Because it showcases, it portrays the reality of the society, which reflects the image of the time in which it was created. So it basically uh, reflects on the image of the time in which this literature was created or carved out, right? So it is a medium of expressing thoughts and ideas for the writer, right? It is one of the most ancient forms of entertainment in history of mankind. At the beginning, when there was no written form of language, literature was composed in the form of poetry and preserved through the words of mouth. In the history of literature, poetry is the most ancient form of literature. Then it developed into various other forms like drama, novel, and short story. So after literature, what we are gonna study is poetry. And after poetry, what do we find? That after poetry, what developed? After poetry, drama developed. After drama, what developed? After drama, novel developed. After novel, what developed? Short story. Short story, short story. Right? So literature is very important. Literature is very important. Whenever we talk about literature, literature is very important. Then comes poetry, then comes drama, then comes novel, then comes short story. Right? Now, when we are going to see, literature can be classified and subclassified in various forms. We have studied those various forms. First one being drama, second one being prose, third one being poetry, and the fourth one being novel. Right. So you can classify, literature into drama, prose, poetry, novel. Herein we spoke about poetry, drama, novel, short story, right? But the classification is drama, prose, poetry, short story. Yeah, poetry, novel. Then we move on to drama. So the following are the major forms of drama: miracles and mystery plays. Clear? Miracle and mystery plays, morality plays and interludes, morality plays and interludes, right? Here, second category is heroic, revenge, Shakespearean, sentimental, tragedies, and melodramas. Why tragedies and melodramas? Melodramas, which involve a lot of sentiments. So, sentimental, Shakespearean, revenge, heroic. Whenever we talk about Shakespeare, we talk about the comedy, we talk about the tragedy, right? So, basically, whenever we talk about Shakespeare, tragedy is associated with Shakespeare, but we also have the comic sides, right? So heroic, revenge. We talk about revenge, taking revenge, right? Revenge. We talk about the heroes, right? So heroic. So then the comedies we have under comedies again we have the subdivision. right? So when we talk about the subdivision, when we talk about the subdivision of the category comedies, then we again encounter classical comedies. That means we again have classical comedies, tragic comedies, romantic comedies, comedy of humor, comedy of manners, the farce, the mask, the poetic play, the dramatic monologue, the problem play, the one act play. Right? Clear? So far, so clear? Then under prose, under the category of prose now, the following are the major forms of prose. Long prose works, we have long prose works, right? Then we have the essay, we have the essay, we have the periodical journals, we have the periodical journals, then we have the biography, the autobiography, the next autobiography is the next one, the next category. Then we have the memoirs, right? And then we have poetry. Under poetry we have poetry, and its major forms are the epic, the mock epic, the sonnet, the ode, the lyric, the idyll, the pastoral, the elegy, the pastoral elegy, the ballad, the satire, right? Then we have novel, right? And when we talk about novel, we talk about the prose romances, the travelogues, the gothic novel, the picturesque novel, the epistolary novel, the domestic novel, the historical novel, the regional novel, the prophetic novel, the psychological novel, the short story, right? So I just hope this is clear to you. We'll revise it again, clear, so that we have more clarity. So first and foremost, we should be, you know, um, we should know what is the definition of literature. So first and foremost, what we need to keep in mind is the definition of literature, right? What do we actually mean by literature? Yeah. Then literature is basically, it shows, it is the mirror, it shows the, it reflects the reality of life. It is very important in our lives. We how it is important, because we get connected to there are real life events also, there is fiction also. So literature comprises of a vast ocean, right? So it is basically not limited to a, or restricted to a particular zone. It has it is vast, right? Then we talk about, then we come on to poetry part, right? So no, before that yeah, then we come on to poetry part, then drama, then novel, and then short story. This was one classification. Then if we talk about the other one, we talked about the classification and the forms. Now literature can be classified and subdivided into, whenever we talk about literature, see, suppose I'm talking about literature over here, right? I'm writing it literature, right? Now when we talk about literature, this is divided into subtypes. So subtypes, yeah. The first one being drama, the first one being drama, the second one being prose, the third one being poetry, the fourth one being novel. Clear? So drama, prose, poetry, novel, literature. These come under the category of literature, right? What is this? Drama, prose, poetry, novel. These are the classifications or forms of literature. Clear? Under drama, then again there is a classification. Under drama, you have miracles and mystery plays, miracles and mystery plays, and we have morality plays and interludes, morality and interludes, right? So under drama, we have miracles and mystery plays, morality plays and interludes. Secondly, we have under drama only we have various categories. So under drama, uh, then we can say we have heroic revenge, Shakespearean sentimental tragedies and melodramas, and then we have comedies, we have under comedies again we have classical comedy, we have tragic comedy, we have romantic comedies, we have comedy of humor, we have comedy of manners, we have the farce, we have the mask, we have the poetic play, the dramatic monologue, right? uh, okay, I'm just rubbing it. I hope you have understood of all of this. Yes. All right. So then under prose, when we talk about prose, it has long prose works. So we have long prose works. Then we have the essay. Then we have the periodic journals. Then we have the biography, the autobiography. I'm writing. Then we have autobiography, right? Then we have the memoirs, right? This is under prose. So under prose you have the you have long prose works, you have the essay, you have the periodical journals, you have the biography, you have the autobiography, and then you have the memoirs. Clear? I hope it is clear and you're able to understand and comprehend, right? Then under poetry, when we talk about poetry, now we're gonna talk about poetry. Suppose we are talking about poetry. Now under poetry, you have the epic, then you have the mock epic, then you have the sonnet, then you have the ode, then you have the lyric, then you have the idyll, then you have the pastoral, then you have the elegy, we are going to study what are these actually, what do we actually mean by it when we are talking about the long prose works, DSA, what do we actually mean by the periodic journals, what do we mean by the autobiography, the memoirs. Then we are going to talk about the poetry aspect, and we are going to talk about the various categories that it has. The epic, what do we actually mean by epic, what do we mean by mock epic, what do we mean by sonnet, what do we mean by ode, what is lyric, what is ideal, what is pastoral, what is the elegy, right? The pastoral, next is the pastoral, then the, okay, pastoral we have done, the elegy, then then comes the pastoral elegy, the pastoral elegy, right? And then we have the ballad, then we have the ballad, and then we have the satire. Yeah, then we will talk about novel. Now, talking about novel, we will come over here. We have plenty of space over here, right? We'll talk about novel now. Now, under novel, what we get to see is there are again major classifications which we have spoken before. We're just going to revise the prose romances. So you have the prose romances, the prose romances. Next, you have the novel, the prose romances, right? Then you have the travelogues. Then you have the travelogues. Then you have the Gothic novel. Then you have the picturesque novel. Sorry, not picturesque, picture. Then we have the picaresque novel. I'm again and again, I had this word picturesque in my mind. Just before this, I just did a poem in which I use the terminology picturesque. It's picturesque. The picturesque novel. I'm writing it short. The picturesque. What is this? Picares. Yes, correct. Q. Epistolary novel. Then we have the domestic novel. I'm sure you might have not, you might not have, you know, heard some of the names, but you might not be familiar with all the firms. The historical, the the historical novel. So we have the historical novel. We have the regional novel. Then we have the prophetic novel. Then we have the psychological. I'm just writing down the psychological. I'm just writing it down. Prophetic and understand novel. The prophetic novel, psychological novel, and the short story. And the short story. So now, under prose, we get to see long prose works. Under prose only, we get to see the essay. Then we have the periodical journals, the biography, the autobiography, the memoirs, right? Then we have under poetry, what we get to see is, yes, we get to see, the epic, the mock epic, the sonnet, the ode, the lyric, the idyll, the pastoral, the elegy, the pastoral elegy, the ballet, the satire, right? Under novel, we have the prose romances, the travelogues, the gothic novel, the picaresque novel, the epistolary novel, the domestic novel, the historical novel, the regional novel, the prophetic novel, right? Yeah. So these are the novels. These are the types of novels that we get to see, and short story also. Where is that? I wrote short story also. So, just erase this. Yeah, I hope it is clear. So for today, that was it. We will be discussing what do we actually mean by all this in our next classes, right? So just check out whatever we have done in the previous classes. Just go through it and then come to this one. And then after this, we are gonna discuss the subsections, the subtypes. Okay. I hope this is clear. I hope you have been able to understand and grasp the concept. Uh, this is Sukriti Joshi signing off. Bye bye. Keep learning till then.